Sri Lankans will always smile, and that is how optimistic and positive Sri Lankans are. And also, I'm sure that you will remember to enjoy our cup of tea before you leave. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the highlight of the evening, and that is a very properly popular and thought-provoking and insightful panel discussion. And to moderate the panel discussion, I respectfully invite Mr. Dilip Mudavenia, Chairman of the Tourism Advisory Council, our moderator. A round of applause as we welcome him. And the first panelist for the discussion is Mr. Veera Hettiarachchi, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Convention Bureau, SLCB, and Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management. Our next panelist is Mr. Puthikahela Vasan, Chairman of Sri Lanka Tourism Promotions Bureau and Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority. Mr. Saminga Pereira, Head of Marketing of Sri Lankan Airlines, and Ms. Bobby Jordan Hansen, Board Member and Vice President of Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators. A round of applause to our panelists, and we give the control over to our moderator, Mr. Dilip Mudavenia.
Ayubowan and warm welcome to all of you. And I believe that some of you are for the first time in Sri Lanka, but of course not the last time, I guess. And all of you actually will continue to, I'm sure, visit this beautiful island which is yet to be discovered by many travelers. So without taking much time, we have a very esteemed panel, a lot of experience around them. So we'll try to use this time effectively to clarify some of the questions that you have. And then we also have, I think at the end of the program, some opportunity for you to ask some questions as well. So let me phrase some. I've changed all the questions, which the given answers all brand new, don't worry about it. So the first question to Veera, who is the chairman of Sri Lanka Convention Bureau. You know, the world mice, according to ICAO, the world mice business is valued at $101.1 trillion in 2023. This is expected to go to $1.3 trillion in 2024. And then which have annual growth of about 8 to 9%. And this is a massive growth. And the good news is that the highest growth in mice has been recorded in the Asian sector, which is a brilliant news where Sri Lanka is concerned. So my question to Veera is that with these growth numbers around the world, would you be able to explain the vision of the Convention Bureau and the government to position Sri Lanka as a top mice destination? And what kind of how do you envisage this industry in few years down the line?
Yeah, thank you, Dilip. It's a timely, needed question. If you consider that, like, the tourism is kind of a social phenomena, and again, the mice tourism is another different segment, unique segment. So when you consider Sri Lankan context and also the vision of the present government, even that is highly connected with the mice promotion. Mainly, if you consider the economy of the country is totally, we can say, the economic growth rate is quite good, 4.9% for the last the second quarter, and the interest rates are stable and the investments are coming up. And so in this the scenario, we can say the tourism and the mice sector is moving. Even there can be the first time the visitors to Colombo during among the hosted buyers. So you can see the Colombo itself, it has been changed, like it's a colorful city, adding more colors to the picture. So mice tourism, the mission is clearly mentioned in the particular national tourism policy of the present government. Even that's clearly mentioned. We are in a position to support the mice and identify the big pillar of this, the value of the mice sector. So identify that. So we are implementing certain number of that. That's based on the vision. We are implementing certain number of strategies to overcome this particular the necessities. How we can fulfill the economic growth and the kind of different kind of the segments in the particular sector. We're not talking about the as Achin mentioned about the 40 countries we have having kind of a visa-free policy, the investment policy and immigration policy. So these are highly connected with this particular thing. And we are strengthening our national carrier, the Sri Lankan Airlines. So this sort of stuff is really connecting the sustainable the MICE segment for future. That's how we are working on it. So we can discuss later on what other strategies we can move forward as well.
Alright, so that's a bit of brief description from the MICE. I will just move into the chairman of Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority and Promotion Bureau. Sri Lanka has seen about gone up to 1.3 million tourists up to now, and it's a 14% growth, and we see the growth momentum continuing. But most importantly, we see this growth of certain segments like cruise tourism, wedding tourism, sports tourism. Now we are adding the MICE tourism into it. So how do you see the contribution from the segments of this nature moving away from your overall global general tourism, especially from the MICE? What kind of a value addition do you see that is coming into your overall objective of tourism, and how do you try to build that momentum from that perspective?
Yeah, Dilip, thank you. First of all, we are actually in the process of getting away from the generic tourism because of two factors. One thing is it just gives you a kind of a very basic expenditure portfolio, but if you're moving out of the particular segments of generic tourism, you will be getting tourists with high expenditure, high value tourists. So MICE, in a kind of overall perspective, I must say, we are actually lying next to a kind of one of the biggest MICE source markets, India itself. So, and India, by the way, is the highest generic tourism generating market for us as well. So, I must thank our Indian friends, and I must specifically thank the people who are sitting here who specifically looking for more differentiated, more value-added MICE tourists themselves. So when we have been thinking about the approach of ours, we actually want tourist numbers to grow in one angle, because we need to cater more tourists and distribute them among the country. So that is one particular aim of the government strategy. On the other hand, we need the economic growth of the sector. That means that the tourists who have been coming here need to be more engaged, spending more money, and to be having a kind of a more value-added experience. In that perspective only, we have been diverting our tourist products from a generic tourism to wedding tourism, maybe marine tourism, the wildlife, nature and all. And we know most of the tourist markets which are generic tourist markets in earlier, even including India, became more matured markets. And those tourists are no longer the seers or observers. They want to get engaged, they want to get the experience, they want to be part of it. And we are geared to do so as well. If you think about Colombo as a city, right now has the largest, I think, 5-star hotel inventory in this part of the world, and sophisticated set of 5-star hotels lining here itself, which are actually having one of the state-of-art MICE venues as well. So in a way, the infrastructure is ready. So it's all about matching this infrastructure and fit it with the right tourist groups. So even in recent promotions of ours, we are looking more into this particular market segment. We know that certain cities in India has a massive industrial growth, and we know, by the way, certain unfortunes of the particular other MICE destinations probably will give us an opportunity to grow. And also certain MICE destinations, I know they have been there for long, and people who have been going into those destinations are actually bored with it. And Sri Lanka is in a way a fresh destination for a MICE tourism. And Colombo itself is being adding more value into it. We know that Colombo is going to become a kind of entertainment hub itself. South Asia's finest entertainment is being added to this part as well. And also it complements with all what we have, the nature, the beauties and all other kind of factors we do have all this time is complementing these factors. So I think way forward is value-added tourism, way forward by and large is MICE tourism, and we are focusing even with the intra-region tourism. Actually, say if you think about Asia, its economic growth is more than the growth of all other kind of zones of the world. So if you think about Asia's economic growth and focusing on Asia's MICE sector itself, I think we can generate a larger number as well as larger revenue share as well.
Thank you, Bodhika. I'll move to some in the Sri Lankan Airlines. Sri Lanka is an island nation. so everyone has to fly in apart from the cruise tourism. The last year we had about 11 million departures, and out of that 60% is brought from by Sri Lankan Airlines. Now, airline is play a huge role in MICE, because if you don't clear your room or your seats, they'll not be able to come in large movement, and you need to have the connectivity, and of course the rest of the services. So, from Sri Lankan Airlines perspective, in order to support and move with the MICE industry, what kind of a marketing and partnership strategies that you envisage to develop this MICE, which also relevant to our partners who are here?
Thank you, Dilip. Before I answer your question, a very warm welcome to all the delegates who have taken the trouble to be here despite their hectic schedule. And again, Dheera, for you and your team, big congratulations for putting this together, a very timely initiative. Just to answer you, Dilip, as you know, the national carrier takes pride as the catalyst in promoting tourism. It has been there for the last so many years, and the nation's tourism industry goes hand in glove with the airline, the national carrier. So in our initiatives to promote the destination, we look at the destinations that is closer to home. As we intend to grow, especially if you take India, for example, you know, Buddhika said the largest number of tourists are from India. No brainer, we have the largest frequency also to India. We operate over 90 flights a week, covering 9 destinations in India. So when we target certain markets, essentially closer to home, purely because of the connectivity. And then we have been working on bringing in those tourists. Not only the times that Sri Lanka does really well in terms of tourism, we have invested heavily on bringing in certain journalists, certain agents, so on and so forth, continuously to show what Sri Lanka has to offer. So you may be a first time here for this event, but once you come here for the very first time, I believe the hardest part is done, because you are convinced. I'm sure when you go back, majority of you would want to come back. So that is what we thrive on, Dilip. So as much as we can, we try and bring agents or media to this country to showcase what Sri Lanka has to offer. So we act as a catalyst to bring those to Sri Lanka.
Thank you, Simon. Bobby, you have been in the industry for many decades, with a lot of experience in many areas. So today, Sri Lanka has one of those leading associations, the Sri Lanka Inbound Tour Operators Association, the Hotel Association, and Professional Conference Association, relevant to your business. So what do you think the association can do to further strengthen the Sri Lanka as a top MICE destination? And then how do we you see the work towards a private-public partnership taking forward?
Well, as a director of the Sri Lanka Convention Bureau, I know that we engage very strongly with the Convention Bureau by way of, getting projects which they support us. I mean, whenever there is a convention, any kind of MICE activity, we actually go to the Convention Bureau and they support us, both financially and also to make the bid document. So we have a very good, I would say, private-public partnership in that aspect. But what I would like to try to better in this particular area is to shift the business not only from Colombo but to the regional destinations as well. Unfortunately, we don't have that many convention centers in the regional areas, but that we can do by engaging private public participation and building convention centers in those areas, then I would also like to look at not only India actually. There are other destinations also that we can get clients from, my business from, and because people are finding the world smaller and smaller now, and they would like to go away for maybe 5 nights, including flights, even from places like Hong Kong or Europe or different market segments. So they are looking at more, sustainable meetings, greener technology, and we should encourage that aspect of it as well, because if we can do that, I think more and more people will look at Sri Lanka and bring their MICE events here.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Dira, I will get back to your one more question. So, the competition in the world for MICE is increasing, and as you know, you are the leading MICE operators. What kind of offerings which some of the destinations like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Thailand, Malaysia, they're offering all the time something very interesting, commercial benefits to make it more attractive. End of the day, why you are in this business is there has to be a proper ROI. So with this competition in mind, there are more and more countries are getting very aggressive because the purpose of tourism is getting revenue to the country. How do you basically, where Convention Bureau and the government is concerned, that to what kind of approach that you have to tackle this growing competition from our neighbors and especially from the Asian and the Middle East region?
Actually, out of the total tourist arrivals, we are reaching about, out of total tourist arrivals, nearly 10 to 12% is the existing MICE portion. So our strategy, our approach is to increase that even up to the 20% from the total tourist arrivals. That's one of the main the objective that we are working on. At the same time, we are thinking about different kind of collaborative approaches and sort of the strategic approaches, kind of things. Mainly if you consider the Asian region, mainly India if you consider, that's it's kind of a very good source market to Sri Lanka. That Asian region itself, we have kind of many more similarities. It can be it can be the language, it can be the culinary aspects, it can be the spiritual aspects. These are similar products. So these products can be blended with the MICE sector. So that is another approach we are talking about. Mainly when we consider the next year, at the moment we are in a brainstorming session. Brainstorming is started already. How we can approach, we have the season and the off season. The conventional we have Sri Lanka anyway is a kind of year-round destination, but how we can fill the gap in between season and the off season, mainly how we can fill with the MICE tourism segment. So that's the main target for next year, 2026. We are going to identify the main few source markets and capitalize on it, and can be a kind of a market-based different campaigns. Mainly India will be there, definitely. So these sort of approaches are there. At the same time, we have, like Achin mentioned about we have kind of the attractive MICE travel assistance scheme. That's a policy that's even anybody can download it through the website. That also provides kind of a financial and non-financial support. If these particular MICE, the hosted buyers are willing to bring down more kind of an event or kind of a conference to Sri Lanka, we are ready to support you. That's a kind of strategy. Even the connecting with the massive picture, we are having kind of, as I mentioned, the visa-free policy, the immigration, the policies, as well as the investment policies are also supporting this particular sector. That's a kind of the big network. At the same time, we are in a kind of promoting MICE venues in Sri Lanka at the moment. So MICE, since Colombo, we are getting much more, as Bobby mentioned, much more properties with the private sector involvement. And we also we started promoting MICE venues, the temple trees, and also the deep south. We are getting the MRICC, kind of 1,500 seating capacity, the fully fledged convention center. We need to utilize it. So we are inviting you also to think about these particular the properties. And Jaffna, the northern part of the country, we are getting another cultural, what you call Jaffna cultural complex. You're getting another kind of a MICE venue. So we are in the process of promoting that particular MICE venues. And at the same time, it's not only that, we need to think about training and development aspects of the MICE sector. We are about to start a events management and MICE sector based curriculum and also the program for the newcomers of the sector. So these kind of combined strategies are there to overcome the particular bottlenecks and having kind of a sustainable approach for the next 2-3 years. So that's our main approach.
All right, thank you, Buddhika. Buddhika, one question for you as well. In 2025, as per the roundup research, the 40% of the Gen Z travelers have booked whatever the destination they have selected because of TikTok, influence from TikTok. And the Booking.com 2024 research report says that at least in most of the countries, one of the key destinations, one of the key drivers is actually the sustainable initiatives by various products. In the multiple research 2024-25 track shows that more than 50% of Gen Z are looking for eco-friendly travel. And then McKinsey 2025 report says that future of wellness is something which drives the Gen Z as well. So looking at that, and Bobby talks about sustainability. So if you look at what this sustainability, the technology, as well as the authenticity, these three factors will shape the future travel. So how do you see Sri Lanka tourism is getting the benefit of these three factors to improve the MICE tourism in the country or to the country?
Yeah, Dilip, like it's actually a two-pronged approach. In one angle, I think the way we transform marketing will actually make the difference when it comes to Gen Z. Actually, we are a destination traditionally not catered to Gen Z, but more of a kind of a, say, Generation Y or somewhere which we have been lying with. But at the same time, with the increased popularity of the user-generated contents, even right now the popularity of AI, the content creation by the influencers or bloggers and such kind of parties will make the difference. Even when it comes to a kind of a MICE event of traditional nature which was being attracted by kind of old age groups would not be the particular thing what Gen Z has been looking at. So how it can be generated a kind of a unique experience in the shape of the authenticity. I think that the people are being more want something which is unique for them, something which can create a wow factor for them and such kind of things. So those kind of content creation and the marketing exercise is what we have been started already, rather than being like say a kind of a more agency driven marketing. We need to be going into kind of a user generated marketing, the influencers, the bloggers, and then encourage people to more engage in the marketing activities by themselves, which is being happening even right now. So that approach actually creates something which was not been seen by the world and which world needs to be come and see. Actually, say recent content which created about Sri Lanka on certain unknown places are actually going viral. So those kind of things probably will not be seen by a kind of traditional marketing approach. So we are also being very much encouraged, our budgets are being allocated onto that side, and more encouraging people to have their own kind of campaigns. And also in future also, in recent months, what we have been trying to do is like say creating certain content hackathons, getting people down, and to be try to create contents on the places that which is being very unique in Sri Lanka. So that's the marketing approach. On the other hand, there's a lot we need to do with the infrastructure and the development side. Where when we have been talking about the sustainability story, actually we need our properties, we need our places to be certified sustainable. So in recent past, like say 200 or 300 odd properties of ours of various levels, maybe be guest houses, may it be the particular restaurants, or may it be star class hotels, are increasingly getting into the sustainable standards and sustainable certification. So it is a drive that we are actually promoted at the national level, and also the industry is very much part with us on that. And also the certain destinations of ours, I think one of the most prominent destinations of ours like Sigiriya is being certified sustainable. So we get certain sustainable standard in practice right now. We know that we need to go a long way. Now we are in the blue flag certification for our beaches. So such kind of efforts, especially the environmental sustainability part, we do a lot. On the other hand, how we have been bringing the particular people factor into it, where the communities are being more benefited and the communities being part and parcel of and engaging into the tourism is a bigger factor that we are looking at. So community tourism initiatives in line with these kind of activities, even in the MICE, can we do it in a kind of a more community driven ventures is something that we have been looking at, something that we are being encouraged. So training and development in one part, and also being encouraging the entrepreneurship, innovation, as well as getting community engaged into that whole tourism equation is a bigger strategy of the government. Actually, we are looking for more destinations. We are trying to open those destinations and also going for a certain level of city branding. You know, like say government is very much driving to brand our destinations rather than the country itself. You know, like Sri Lanka has been known, but probably the destinations like Anuradhapura or destinations like Mana or Jaffna has to have its own charm and the spirit where we can bring the particular business in. So I think considering the Gen Z's motives and the psychographics, we have kind of very big role to be played, because we, in a way it's a challenge, in a way it's opportunity, because most of the destinations in Sri Lanka is being unknown, but at the same time it has on its own pristine beaches, the virgin forest and all sort of things are being available where we can sustainably grow them with the user generated contents and all to cater more into this particular Gen Z market. So that is the whole strategy in a nutshell.
Alright, thanks. From Sri Lankan Airlines for the MICE travel.
Definitely, yes. We offer discounted airfares from the 40 destinations that we fly out. And also, Dilip, we have 40 sales teams globally. So that can be used to our advantage. We have people on ground promoting Sri Lanka as a MICE destination in all the destinations that we fly to. Then we have a specialized MICE unit back in head office under the leisure arm of Sri Lankan Holidays, which works hand in glove with all the DMCs and the hotels in Sri Lanka.
Thanks. Bobby, are there any effective ways that you can think where you can collaborate industry associations and the Convention Bureau to host some of the larger events to Sri Lanka, which can bring not only footfall but also much needed publicity?
Well, one thing I can think of is for all stakeholders to jointly bid for an event, not only from the private sector, but from the airline and from the SLCB, the Convention Bureau, and from all stakeholders within this industry to bid. That means we have to involve all government departments as well. We have to streamline the visas. We have to make sure that when the clients land here, they get a special, way of coming into the country, avoiding all long queues, etc., and coming in and also getting the feel that they are indeed wanted and they are needed by our country to boost our economy. So basically that is something where all government bodies and private sector should sit down and work out some kind of a scheme maybe where they support this. I know we already have a scheme, but a bigger one where we sort of have a government backed initiative where, for example, in low seasons, like you were saying, Dheera, today, in the low seasons, to get special airline fares and then to fill them up with MICE groups so that, we can give them the best that and we can also aim for ourselves, because those are the low periods for us, and we can synergize our energies, all of us, the hotels, the airlines, everything, every segment that goes into this MICE industry. And actually, it is a win-win situation for both parties. Thank
All right, I think let's focus on a one big event to be held in Sri Lanka other than Olympics. What are the key strategies that you think that when we need to implement to ensure the sustainability and the impact for the local economy? Because the purpose of tourism is that we ensure that trickle down to the economy as well. So what are the strategies that do you think through MICE that you are trying to implement?
Yeah, Dilip, mainly when we consider sustainability comes with main three pillars: social, cultural, and the economic and the environmental aspects. So, how we can pass it down to the Sri Lankan economy and also the local economy? That's one of the main, the key thing, the fact that we need to think about. It can be the luxurious environments like this, and it can be the grassroots level, the community living in the rural areas. How we can again the MICE sector connects with that's the ecosystem we need to think about. So nothing is left behind. So when we are talking about sustainability, so how we can collaborate, that is kind of approaches we are thinking about and brainstorming. It can be linking with the different communities in the different areas. It can be the art and craft, it can be the souvenirs, it can be the training and development, and especially it can be the MICE entrepreneurship. That's also another key area that we can think about. And also international collaborations that even we attended recently the BLTM, the Asian the trade fair for MICE. That's also we discussed. We had a kind of a good collaboration with the Indian Indian MICE associations. Can be the NEMA, can be the Thai, many kind of associations are there. So we are thinking of how we can share their experience with our local community, those who are engaged with the MICE sector, MICE tourism. That's also similarly we can discuss with we are collaborated with the German Chamber of Commerce, that is AHK. Similarly, we can think about how we can collaborate with these kind of the international Chamber of Commerce, and how we can pass down the experience to the growing the local community of the Sri Lanka as well. That's the way that we are thinking about how we can develop the approaches and the platforms for newcomers to think of that and sustain within the MICE ecosystem. That's a way that we can think about. And similarly, identify different the MICE, the benefit can be cascade down to the passed down to the different kind of generations and the community in the country. That's different ways and avenues are there. We can work forward. Thank you.
Country, do you have any investment opportunities that you can highlight, may it be land or anything which is relevant to my sector, that actually the audience here can actually get to know, where you need some solid investments just to improve, and there's a business case as well?
Of course, in general, I think we do have a kind of considerable land bank all over the country, which we have been offering to the investors. Who's been potential, actually we do have about 3,000 odd acres of land all over the country, where we have been trying to promote among the investors, because some of them have been laying in one of the most pristine as well as most amazing beaches of the country in the east coast of Sri Lanka. Actually, it's one of the beaches where you can actively involve for 9 months or so to activities of that sort, which our western beaches comparatively can do it for only 4 months' time. So those lands are being available, but apart from the land, I think still there is a kind of a requirement of a convention center or maybe a kind of entertainment domes and such sort of things. Yes, hotels are having all these kind of venues, but at the same time, still the particular outskirts require that. Apart from that, I think there is a kind of accessibility requirement also when it comes to domestic air connectivity. So we do have airports. I know, like say Sri Lanka was in history had a kind of real good domestic aviation network. If you think about Jaffna itself has an airport, which I know most of you know that the airlines from India has been flying to Jaffna right now. And it connects with Trincomalee. Trincomalee we also have kind of an airstrip itself. And then Batiko we have an airstrip, and also in Mattala as well as in Ratmalan and BIA is having an airstrip. When these are being active, I think entire Sri Lanka is feasible and accessible for tourism. So one of the key things that we have been looking at is such kind of infrastructure development, because like if you think about an airport like Patiklo, which is been surrounded by several islands and a good location for golf and such kind of sport tourism ventures, are also key potential areas for investment, which government as well as tourism development authority is willing to consider such kind of investment, because we know like within the region one of the key factors is this particular air connectivity for us to be developed tourism all over the country. So maybe a kind of a ventures like say convention centers or maybe entertainment domes, or even in that case the particular joint ventures and the private public partnership for aviation and the airport development is something which is I think key areas which we have been inviting investments in Sri Lanka for tourism. So I think some of you, or maybe like say most of you who are involved in the business are on other way into the investment platforms also. So let me take this opportunity as an open invitation for please speak up to us and see what kind of a way that we can connect with on these kind of investment opportunities. So that's the invitation. And also on the other hand, the marine tourism investments is something that we have been really looking at. So there is a potential for Sri Lanka to be developed certain marinas. I know like say billionaires in the regions are being growing, but at the same time these billionaires need to be bringing their yachts down. So whenever you have been bringing the yachts down, Sri Lanka is right in the middle where the particular marinas can be very, very well operated. And also, you know, like say with our tropical weather and all this kind of thing, it can be kind of a real good marina parking lots for those kind of yachts. So we have the human resources which is being capable of being maintaining, but at the same time we need the investment on those fronts also. So marine and marine related tourism investment on the other hand is something which we have been really open to discuss with.
Great, I think that we have come to the end of our conversation, but I can open the house for a couple of questions if you have anyone brave enough. Yes, can anyone pass one? We can give one of our mics here.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, thank you very much for your great presentations. I am Shailendra from India, Bombay, Safari Plus.
Will you introduce yourself?
Yeah, definitely I am introducing myself. My name is Shailendra Kesari, Safari Plus from Bombay, India. I like the in last of your presentation, which is the investment part. I would like to understand, do you have any blueprints, like particularly landscape or some kind of investment, how the India can invest in your projects? Can you give me more little highlights on that?
Yeah, it's like this, like even right now we have kind of structure, what we call as investor relation unit, which we are having three type of investment. One is like say the investment which is belongs to our organization, the Tourism Development Authority, where we do have the lands, the particular other kind of potential investment platforms, which we own and be offering to the investors, which is being available even with our land bank and other kind of platforms. Then we do have certain tourism potential investment belongs to the other government organization, may it be the particular aviation ministry, the civil aviation, as well as other kind of platforms who are actually actively and willingly want the investors to come in. Then we do have the private sector investors also, the local private parties who are actually actively seeking for the investment. So these three platforms are within the particular blueprint of ours, which is like available right now for the Indian investment. I must say certain Indian investors are already benefited from that. They started their investment itself and now they are being actually diverting into certain sectors also. So also the particular experience sake, if somebody is being, or even investors being bringing their proposal, we do the matchmaking part as well. We do have a kind of a potential database, or we will seek the particular opportunities for you. Say as an example, the islands. Some of the investors are being coming and be talking about the islands, and we try to matchmake, and some of those matchmakes are already started. Then they will be looking for the hill stations, cable car projects, zip liners, various sort of things. So either any of those ways, if the investor brings their own potential proposal, or if it is the government owned things that we have been displaying which belongs to us,
or even other potential government agencies, even the private sector, we connected all together.
That's the only one we are looking, adventure or some kind of ecotourism. You have a certain projects have been coming up or you want to announce on those reason, or like a marine time which you are saying, which is again it is a more demanding or a geographical way. So if you have any such plannings have been there, you can just share to us so we can elaborate to our people. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Just okay, we'll say this gentleman over there. Please be short. We are running a little bit of time, so be short.
For this wonderful informative event. I rather have a suggestion or a request if you allow me to put in here. We are sitting here for a MICE segment, and MICE segment is all about volume of business which involves a huge amount of money. As you was talking about sustainability, we promote in India our domestic destinations, like we say visit Kashmir, visit Gujarat, visit Kerala, visit Rajasthan, no passport, no visa, no forex. We can promote Sri Lanka as our domestic destinations like our own country. Definitely passport will be there. You have already eased out the visa process. It's free of cost and very simple. But now my suggestion is, because in my segment a huge amount of rupees currency forex is involved. So can you please prioritize our currency to accept, or so that local DMCs can bill us in the Indian rupiah? Because when we make a remittance or when we transfer an amount, so we pay excess amount on the forex transactions. So if you can accept our rupiah in billing, that will feel more like convenient, easy, and like our own. So that's my humble suggestion, if it is possible. Thank you.
It's a good session.
Yeah, but I think it's a real good suggestion, considering India is one of the biggest markets for us, and the economic connectivity within the region has been growing beyond its boundaries. So I think the discussions are already started at the financial ministry level. So we are also being encouraged with the particular proposals to go ahead with that particular pathway, because anyway, I think in way forward and the future, the Indian investment in Sri Lanka, the trade exchange, and all other kind of economic involvement is huge. So I think anyway we will not be able to compromise that particular proposal, and very soon it will be coming into kind of a positive path itself.
It's Indian currency is a hard currency accepted in Sri Lanka, but there are a couple of other laws which prevents when Sri Lankan DMCs are invoicing that it says no USD dollars. So that particular piece of legislation has to change to allow that. But I think the discussions are going on. Your point well taken. One more question I have.
Good evening. Good evening. This is Anwar Hussain, Managing Director, Colori Holidays, the one of leading destination management company, and holding Vice President of Bangladesh Tour Operator Association of Bangladesh. Actually, my questions is Mr. Sami from Sri Lankan Airlines. For your country, your hotel, your infrastructure, and other is ready. But my questions in Sri Lankan Airlines is ready from receive my clients or my traveler, because your from the origin of Dhaka, your flight timing from departure timing is too early, 7:30. It's the problem of our client. And second thing, the fare, airfare, if the neighbors and your competitor countries as like Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, so their countries airfare from Dhaka to Bangkok return is the 350, but from Dhaka to Colombo, the airfare is the 550 almost. So in future, do you have planning to raise the prices and reschedule the timing from departure timing, which is early morning 7:30 for any client if they take the packages or 4 nights, 5 days, or 3 nights, they have to report the midnight, the airport. So it's the difficult to our country traveler. So I hope you will be solution, and in future for receive more MICE travelers in Sri Lanka. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that question. Actually, I didn't know about the price points. Price, of course, depend on demand and supply, as you know. But of course, we do have special fares for MICE tourists. Changing a schedule in the airline business is a bit of a challenge because it has effects because the aircraft rotation times are also connected to it. But the suggestion is well taken, and definitely I will have a chat with the team. Binuri is sitting at the same table as you. She's the one who's in charge of MICE for Sri Lankan. So we'll definitely talk to you as in the next couple of days. Thank you for that.
With that question, I think we have ran about 10 minutes more. So thank you for coming all the way today. I'm sure you have lots of questions to ask. All these gentlemen and lady will be there today and tomorrow, and you can ask any questions. So before I just wrap up today, what can each one of you tell one good reason why they should bring their MICE groups to Sri Lanka? Just one reason. Starting from Buddhiga.
I think in a way we are unique. At the same time, we are part of you. So we have the everything what you are looking for, plus the warm heart.
If you consider like one word, there is a compactness. As Mr. Buddhiga differently mentioned about the uniqueness, so similarly we are the compact destination. You get whatever you want, the nature, culture, adventure, wildlife, flora, fauna and the culinary all are here. So please welcome. Thank you again.
Robbie?
It's a value for money destination. And it's very down to earth. What you want, you get, because we are there to service you and to make sure that your package can be promoted to your clients at a value for money price. Thank you.
I started my when I first said it, the difficult part is already done. That is, you're already here. When you will definitely come back because you would feel that Sri Lankans are truly genuine. We don't need AI to beautify our destination or anything. Our people are genuine. You'll truly love coming back.
Yeah. Finally, you come here as visitors, but then you will always leave as friends. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.